This is my NC2 Miata, and I've owned it now for nearly 8 years. There's no hiding that it's been extensively modified. From larger wheels, a big roll bar surrounded by a carbon fiber hardtop, and even a 2.5 Duratec engine out of a Ford Fusion. My goal was to make it different, my own. Whether it was spending $500 on mirrors from a small shop in Japan, or slicing the rear fenders off to rivet on a set of rally backer over fenders. Hi, I'm Jackson, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first video you're seeing, I hope you find something interesting and stick around. And like I said, behind me is my 2011 NC2 Miata, and in this video we're going to do a full build overview and plans for the future. I really do love this car. It's my first enthusiast car, my first rear-wheel drive car, my first convertible, and I've literally taken off almost every single piece of this car short of the rear end. And by YouTube standards, it's really not that extensive of a build. It's a 2.5 engine out of a Ford Fusion with a stage 1 cam by Fab 9, an OBX exhaust that's really not that great, but anyone who knows this formula for the swap that I did, you'll know it is just perfect. Alright, so let's talk about the exhaust. What we're running right now is a Goodwin Racing Roadster Sport Max header paired to an OBX mid-pipe with a high-flow cat in it, and everything goes right out the back of a Roadster Sport 2 muffler. It's not the fanciest setup in the world, but it does sound so good. And the suspension setup is pretty simple as well. What we're working with is a set of coilovers. They're the Tane Flex Z, paired with full underbody bracing. It has the strut tower bars in the front and the rear, and it's stiff enough to where it's comfortable, yet very predictable still on the roads and on the track if you choose to take it there. Now there are a lot of things that make my car specifically annoying to live with, like the doors don't shut all the way due to the thicker door bushings. Sometimes if I don't drive it enough, the battery dies because it's a smaller race battery. And also it's not super safe to drive in the rain because I have 2 giant hood vents that just let rainwater collect right on top of my ECU wiring. So cue the boomer comments. You've ruined the car. Mazda engineers made it right the first way. But this is my car. I built it the way I wanted. I made it look the way I wanted it to look. I'm sure your Miata is perfect, and that's okay. I'm sure you're setting lap records at your local track every single weekend. The modifications really comes down to what you want, and all the time and effort put into it is superficial compared to opinions on the internet. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn in this video for all the things that I've done on this car or money I've spent, but I'm also not a respect all builds kind of car enthusiast. I can, however, appreciate the time that someone puts into a project, kind of like these taillights. I spent hours and weeks working on these taillights. They're a set of NA taillight lenses grafted into an NC1 outer housing. You can probably count on your two hands how many people have a set of genuine Barchetta taillights or have built their own. I just love how they look, how they fit the body style so perfectly. It really shows how Mazda kept that original Roadster design from the NA, NB, all the way up to the NC. It's just perfect.
So what's next for my NC Miata? Well, it's hard to say. Every single time I've gotten to the point of thinking it's complete, I find something else. A project car is never done though, right? The paint isn't perfect, so I've thought about wrapping it, or doing a full wet sand and correction detail. I still need to install a limited slip diff. I have a set of poly suspension bushings I need to install as well. But even after that, is the car ever going to be done? Well, I guess you'll have to click the subscribe button and find out.